Getting sick is one of the greatest gifts in life. Now, first of all, if you've ever been sick with an illness or disease, I would never wish that on anyone. I mean, it can be incredibly devastating and scary and not know what to do and feel helpless and hopeless. So I always want the best for people, but it's in every life situation, whether it's an illness, a disease, an injury, a loss of job, a divorce. It has always been my experience that nothing in life is ever bad, ever. It's only a problem when we focus on the problem instead of the solution, because bad things show up in our life to give us an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to discover something about ourselves, discover something about the world, something we didn't know. You listen to anybody, whether it's an athlete, a business person, anybody. Their success, the greatest moments of their life, the whole reason their life ended up great, was some sort of difficult moment. And in that moment, they made a choice. They made a choice to dig in and find the answer. They went for the solution. And that's what turned their life around. In illness, disease, it's the exact same thing. For instance, I'm going to tell you a couple stories here in a second about clients of mine who had illnesses and things. But here, especially in the case of illness, you see, medicine for centuries has been run, well, not centuries, but for a long time has been run by drug companies, even though we've known for a very long time, at least going back into the 70s and even before, that emotions are the primary cause of illness and disease. Even the CDC estimates a minimum of 85% of all illness and disease has an emotional component. Experts like Bessel van der Kolk, Gabor Mate, Peter Levine, the list is endless, that has shown this connection between our emotions and whether we get sick or hurt. The adverse childhood experience study done back by Kaiser Permanente decades ago in the early 2000s showed that almost all of us have been through traumatic moments in childhood, and those moments, your risk of cancer, your risk of alcohol, any sort of addiction or chronic pain diseases, any of these conditions directly correlate to that pain we've been in. And so what you're seeing now, finally, because medicine has been completely run by drug companies for decades, you're starting to see the acceptance of all this proof that if you want to heal something, you need to heal emotionally. Even Cigna Health, the big insurance company, if you've watched, they got Queen Latifah. They ran a big ad campaign several months ago where they're urging all of their people, look, if you're sick or hurt or something's going on, make sure you talk about your emotional condition with your doctor. They're finally breaking the bias and fighting back against the drug companies, going, hey, pills aren't the answer. There's so much more involved here. And I personally have experienced it with my clients. Countless clients come in with some sort of illness or disease, and in the process of working through the deeper emotions, they all clear up. I've told you the story about a client of mine who had cancer. And this is fascinating too, because I was working with her husband for about a year and a half. And his company used to bring me in. I'd work with the whole team. And she was a part of that team. Well, she wouldn't want to get near me. She was very close-vested, didn't want to talk about things in the group meetings. She didn't share much. Well, she got diagnosed with cancer. And I'll never forget that first meeting. She walks in and I said, tell me a little bit about your life and what frustrates you. And every single time, she would discuss something frustrating. She'd do this. I'd go, where do you feel that? And she'd hit herself. Can you see that? She'd hit herself right here. I kept asking her questions. I made her do it about 15, 20 times, bringing up all the things that frustrated her. And finally, the last time I did it, her hand's right here. And I said, where's your breast cancer? And she just broke down in tears right there. You see, that's what happens with cancer. We store all this rage. There are many other factors. It's stored emotions and that aren't being dealt with. Well, we started working on that, and her doctors were just overwhelmed because she had a type of cancer that she wasn't supposed to do very well, and in a short time, it's all gone because we dealt with the real cause of the cancer. Another client who had shingles, she'd been to every doctor, couldn't get rid of it. Well, finally, someone said, try this guy, meaning me. Well, what was underlying that shingles was she had been raped in college, and she'd never dealt with it. As soon as we dealt with that rape and I helped her get through it, the shingles went away. People with arthritis, same thing, those chronic pain, especially any type of chronic pain stuff, that is all stuffed emotion. Arthritis, lupus, all those types of conditions. And so the beauty of getting sick is this opportunity, because the world is starting to change and go, wait a minute, I'm not telling people don't go to doctors, don't take, medicine. That would just be foolish. It's a wonderful, gift we've discovered. But now you have the opportunity to address those things that have kept you from the life you've wanted. Like both of those clients, the one with cancer and one with shingles, their life has blossomed. Their relationship with their kids, with their husbands, in their career, everything is turned around. And it doesn't always have to be illness that creates this. The point is, look at my own life. I mean, I tell the story in my book of when I was a kid. And I had chronic back problems, chronic stomach problems, in and out of the hospital throughout my whole high school years. And then one day my back went out, and they could never find out what was wrong with my stomach or back. One day my back went out. I'm laying on the garage floor screaming at my mother to grab my crutches because they were up in the rafters and I couldn't walk. And she wouldn't come. And finally I screamed out, "You selfish son of a bitch, when are you going to stay sober long enough to take care of me?" Right there in that moment, before I knew the science, before I knew the proof of how all this works, I instinctually knew that I had been making myself get sick and hurt to try and control my mom's drinking, because if I was sick or hurt, my mom would stay sober to take care of me. That was the last day I had back problems. That's, God, almost 40 years ago now. It all ended that day. That was the gift of me getting sick and hurt. As I got to the reality, I had an inherent instinct of what was happening. Now, many people don't know these things. And so this is, again, it's a wonderful opportunity. And that's what happens when we get sick. We're so desperate because pain, like my book shows, we don't have to be motivated by pain. It's just been born into the human condition because no one's taught the stuff I teach. So we generally wait till something bad happens before we do something. Well, I show we don't have to do that. It's just what's called a neural pathway. It's been fired enough in the species that we're stuck in it. Well, I show a way to change that neural pathway. And so you don't have to wait for your life to be terrible. But if you're sick or hurt right now, what are you doing? Most likely you're desperate for an answer. You're searching anywhere. You just want to get rid of this. Well, you're in that perfect spot to go find answers because you want it. You'll face anything and everything just to feel better. What a gift. What a gift. You're searching for the solution, and that means you have a greater chance of finding it and getting better and using this moment, this terrible moment, as a springboard to the best part of your life. Don't forget that. If you're struggling with something, you are sitting, literally sitting at the precipice of the best part of your life. Grab it. Go become an expert in your emotions. See how they're adding to this condition that you're stuck in. When you develop that skill set, see, our emotions drive our thoughts and therefore drive our actions. And so if you learn that skill set, you can completely change your life and live the life you were meant to live. Don't let this moment pass you by. You're literally in the best place you've ever been. Grab hold of it. Take those reins. Choose your life. We deserve that great version of yourself. So please share it with us. Now, if you're struggling with any sort of health condition, obviously go see a doctor. But if you'd like to learn more about how your emotions are connected to that, and want solutions to it, go ahead and send me a private message I'll give you the material to show you which emotions are tied into the illness or disease that you're struggling with, so you can get focusing on things that'll help you recover. Okay? I hope you guys are having a great day. Take care.